State of Decay 2 is a third-person zombie survival game originally released back in 2018, but I've bought it recently. I've already made another video on this game which was like a first impressions video, and this one is a follow-up to that. So in this video we are going to be taking a look at 5 things that make this title really special and totally worth checking out. The very first thing is that this title lets you experience the truest form of zombie apocalypse. And to elaborate upon this, I'll have to ask a question. Are you a fan of the Walking Dead series? If your answer is yes, then this title lets you live that life basically. You don't play as a single character, instead you have an entire community and you can play as any of the community members. And the goal of the community is survival, of course. And in order to survive, you're gonna have to do everything that you would in real world circumstances. So yeah, set up a base, go looking for food, go looking for fuel, go looking for materials in order to build stuff, and you have to deal with the zombie threat as well as you have to maintain safety and security of your community. Ammo is scarce and you have to scavenge for everything. You are gonna have to go on dangerous supply runs. Were you hit hard by any of the deaths in the Walking Dead series? If you were, then be prepared, you are gonna lose quite a few characters in this title as death is permanent and your characters can get infected pretty easily actually on the higher difficulties. And yeah, once you lose them, you are never gonna be able to see them again. And the root cause of the pain is not the death itself, but the fact that you have basically developed these characters from ground up. And it's because when you control a survivor character, their stats they improve according to the activities that you perform while controlling them. So for example, while using a character, if you fight a lot, their fighting stats are gonna improve, and if you're shooting a lot, their shooting stats are gonna improve, and if you're running a lot, they are gonna have improved cardio and vice versa. So yeah, their stats are gonna go up according to your activities, and when you lose a fully maxed out character, it really does hit you pretty hard. And then you are not the only survivors out there. There are several other communities and some of them can be really helpful and you can have trade relations with them and you can also recruit some of them, while others can be really hostile. Thankfully we don't have a Negan here, but there is no shortage of hostile factions out there, so yeah, you're gonna have to deal with them and take out quite a few of them as well. So yeah, manage your community, recruit new community members, go out looking for food, fuel, water, ammo, all sorts of supplies, and arrange for water and power and whatnot, and get your hands on whatever you can out there and defend your community from zombie hordes as well as hostile factions. Then you are also going to be going out to capture these outposts scattered throughout the map. After capturing an outpost, you get the ability to access your supply locker at that outpost along with your base. So yeah, you can, manage your inventory there. Some special outposts out there provide you with regular supply of food, fuel, medicines and ammo along with the ability to access your inventory, your supply locker. But in order to capture an outpost, you have to take out the nearest plague heart. As long as the plague heart is around, you won't be able to capture an outpost in the vicinity. A plague heart is something that increases zombie influence in an area, and there are special plague zombies present near a plague heart. And these zombies, they are a step up from your regular zombies as they have the capability to infect your survivor with the deadly virus. So along with managing your community and supplies and whatnot, you also have to actively take out these plague hearts in order to gain more ground. Then you're also going to be defending your base from regular zombie attacks and going out on missions to help other friendly communities out there. So yeah, everything from a Walking Dead like universe is present here. The second thing that makes this title really special is realism. Vehicles, they require fuel just like in real life, and if they take damage, you're gonna have to use toolkits in order to repair them. All of your weapons, whether melee or firearms, they need regular repairs or they are gonna break on you. In order to repair stuff, you need a workshop, and in order to build a workshop, you need materials. And after you've built a workshop, it needs parts in order to repair stuff. Then you need to build an infirmary in order to create medicines and to have a medical facility for the ones who are infected and are injured. These were just some examples, and you're gonna need almost everything that you need in real life in order to survive in this title. And yeah, everything has a cost. Like these facilities, when you build them, they consume materials on a regular basis in order to maintain themselves. So you have to have a consistent supply of materials in order to maintain these facilities. So yeah, there is a ton of stuff to manage, and it's really hard for me to sum it up in words actually, but there is a lot of stuff to manage here. You can install stuff like generators in order to produce power for a facility and boost production, but then you're gonna need a regular supply of fuel as generators are gonna consume fuel on a regular basis. And then the noise, the sound of the generators is gonna attract a ton of zombie attention, so you have to manage that as well. Then this realism, it carries itself into the inventory management as well. Just like in real life, with a backpack and a vehicle, there's a limit to how much stuff you can carry. So while scavenging, you are gonna have to make some really tough decisions as to what to take with you and what to leave behind. And then this realism is also present in combat, where you have a stamina bar, and when it depletes, your movements are gonna be slow, you won't be able to run, and yeah, you're gonna have a really tough time. And if you are hit by a plague zombie, you're gonna get infected, and you're gonna have a timer within which you'll have to either get yourself an antiviral dose, or you're gonna have to hospitalize your character at your base in an infirmary. In order to create those antiviral doses, you need plague samples, which you get by killing the plague zombies. And on higher difficulties, these plague samples are rare actually, they don't really drop it that often. So it's really tough to get your hands on one, and it's really easy to get infected. So yeah, it becomes really chaotic and really challenging. And yeah, the infection timer, it is really aggressive on higher difficulties while it is really generous on lower ones. So yeah, on higher difficulty you are definitely gonna have a really tough time. Then the weapons, even with suppressors, they make a decent amount of noise and it attracts zombies. And on higher difficulties, noise is actually your biggest nemesis. And yeah, make any kind of noise on higher difficulties and you're gonna regret big time. And then if you're running low on supplies, your community members, they are gonna get unstable and they're gonna start picking fights. And yeah, their morale is gonna be low, they are gonna be unstable, so you have to manage that as well. Then while driving, you can press the attack button to open the door in order to hit zombies by the roadside. And if you ram too many zombies, your vehicle is eventually gonna break down. Though if you reverse your vehicle onto zombies, your vehicle is only gonna take cosmetic damage as the engine is gonna remain intact. So yeah, while driving, make sure that the front of your vehicle doesn't hit too many zombies or run into any other obstacles, because that is definitely gonna damage your vehicle and break it down. Then you can also use the horn on your vehicle to lure zombies away from a particular area, and it's a trick that is definitely gonna help you out in tough situations. And then the day and night cycle is also really super realistic, and you are definitely gonna feel uneasy at night as it's really dark out there. And while driving, even with your headlights on, you are definitely gonna have some issues. You might ram into stuff. So yeah, you gotta be really careful at night, and it's like super atmospheric. The glowing eyes of the zombies, they are definitely gonna spook you a bit at night. So yeah, there is a ton of realism in this title, which is like really special. The third thing that makes this title really special is combat. So far, you've been getting the simulator vibes from this title, and it is indeed a survival simulator. Since you have to manage your inventory, you have to manage your base, you have to manage your community, you have to be sneaky, everything is like super realistic and stuff, but the combat is really arcadey. Combat involves both melee weapons and firearms, and you can equip both at the same time. You can have a secondary firearm, you can have a primary firearm, then you have a stealth kill weapon, and you have a primary melee weapon. Early on in the game, irrespective of the difficulty you choose to play on, you're going to be relying on stealth as it is your only option in the beginning. Stealth mechanics are really simple, but they work great, and you just have to crouch and sneak and stab. Swinging your primary melee weapon along with running and dodging cost stamina. So yeah, if you are low on stamina, you won't be able to do any of those, and you will take forever to swing that baseball bat of yours. So yeah, be really careful and intelligent while picking a fight with just a melee weapon in your hands. Then comes the really cool stuff, the projectile weapons. And first of all, we have the crossbows. They don't make any sound and they do not need any repairs at all, which is like really cool. And the bolts that they fire, they can be recovered. And yeah, they are perfect for the stealthy, sneaky gameplay. And once you've built a workshop at your base, you can actually craft bolts right at your workshop using materials. Crossbows are perfect for clearing an area without making any noise. And this game features a variety of them, and one of them actually is a semi-automatic version, which is like really cool. On higher difficulties, the crossbows are like super useful and actually a necessity. Then after that, we have a huge variety of weapons for both the secondary category as well as the primary. You've got all sorts of pistols, from 9mm pistols to 44 magnums like Golden Eagle and stuff. And then you've got secondary category shotguns present as well. There is a huge variety of weapons in this title. And then in the primary category, you've got all sorts of assault rifles, submachine guns, and machine guns, and you've got Barrett 50 cals and like crazy amount of weapons with some really cool attachments like suppressors and whatnot. And yeah, the weapon variety is just massive. Every type and every category of weapon is present in this title, from sniper rifles to pistols to carbines to semi-automatic weapons to fully automatic weapons. Man, everything is just jam-packed here. There's a ton of variety in the weapons department. And then you've got a ton of explosives, from C4s to hand grenades to molotovs to fuel bombs and to decoy grenades to smoke bombs to flash grenades and whatnot. Everything that you can imagine is present here. The gunplay and the shooting mechanics are just fantastic. They really change the pace of the game actually. When you are involved into combat, it really becomes a shooter instead of being a simulator, which is like the biggest achievement of this title in my personal opinion. Later on, when you earn the ability to craft your own ammo and stuff, and you have resources, plentiful resources, the combat is something that you are definitely gonna indulge in a lot, and it's really addictive. And the combat is actually fairly challenging even on standard difficulty. You might go into a fight thinking that it's gonna be an easy one, but something might pop up that's gonna really surprise you, and you might have to pull out in order to save your life, or you might run out of ammo, because even if you have all the ammo production facilities, your capacity to carry ammo is limited, and your weapons, they are actually gonna break on you if you use them continuously. So yeah, you have to be really intelligent and careful always. And this uncertainty makes combat really fun and enjoyable. Imagine your weapon jamming while you have engaged this massive horde of zombies and you are right in the middle of them, and you have all the ammo that you can carry, but the gun has jammed, and now you have to melee your way out of there. So it's moments like these that create a doubt in your mind, as the gunplay is really fantastic and really arcadey and enjoyable, but the guns, they are bound to realism themselves. But on higher difficulties, this very same gunplay is something that you have to kind of avoid, because it's gonna attract a ton of zombie attention towards you, and you might regret firing that single shot. So yeah, the gunplay is really enjoyable and really fantastic, but it is also something that you have to, be really careful and intelligent with on higher difficulty especially. Then the fourth thing that makes this title really special is the special infected. And you've got quite a few of them actually. You've got the screamer, who's got no hands but he's gonna scream to attract zombies. Then you've got the bloater, who's like a really bloated fellow. Once shot, he's gonna emit a cloud of gas, damaging everything, and if you hit him with a vehicle, it's gonna damage the vehicle and you. And then you've got the feral, who's like a really fast infected. He's like really crazy fast and really lethal. And then you've got the Juggernaut. He's like a big guy and he has the strength and he can take a lot of punishment and he can do a lot of damage. All of these special infected are really deadly and dangerous, but when combined with the regular zombies and the plague zombies, they really become a deadly force. And amongst the regular infected, you've got some armored zombies, and these guys are a pain to deal with actually. And I almost lost a character named Tristan to a group of these because they were not taking damage from my shotgun, and I was like overrun with them and two screamers and a bloater right next to me, and I somehow just managed to barely survive. And this incident, it actually took place on standard difficulty, so yeah, the standard difficulty can also challenge you quite a bit at times. But wait, there's more. On higher difficulties, all these special infected who are already quite deadly, they all have plague. On standard difficulty, these special infected, they only dealt damage to your health, but now on higher difficulties they are also gonna infect you along with dealing damage to your health. And the timer that you have before you get infected is really fast. So yeah, good luck if you get infected, and it's really easy to actually get infected as a single hit is gonna get you blood plague. So yeah, these special infected, they give this title an amazing personality and also add to the spooky factor of this title. Running into a blood feral at night is a horrifying experience, and I've recently lost a character named Larry to a blood feral along with a horde of plague infected. The fifth and final thing that makes this title really special is the difficulty. The difficulty spike from the lower ones to the higher ones is actually massive. I started from standard and I skipped dread and went straight to nightmare, and it's a completely different experience from the one that I had on standard. I sent a fully maxed out character named Phillips from my standard zone community to the legacy pool with a decent amount of supplies in his inventory, and then started a new community along with two new survivors in the nightmare zone. And right now, one of the survivors, Larry, is already dead, and Phillips is lying in infirmaries with a severe blood plague infection. And the third survivor, a lady, she's also kind of infected, and we are having a really tough time. Only two of us remaining. And yeah, it's really challenging. It's a huge spike in difficulty, and it's like not frustrating, but there is a lot of stuff that I need to relearn, and a lot of stuff that I need to unlearn in order to survive here. And yeah, I've already mentioned a lot of stuff about the higher difficulties, so you can pretty much sum it up. So this game is not about a story or a character. It is all about you and your experiences out there in the zombie infested world. It's all about your decisions, your management skills, your combat skills, and how you deal with stuff. So those were the 5 things that make this title really special and totally worth checking out, and I'm sure there are plenty more, so do let me know down in the comments section. I'm totally in love with this game, and yeah, it's just somehow it's just my type of game, and it's just the perfect balance of combat and management and all the stuff that it does. Somehow it just clicks with me. Do check out the first impressions video that I made on this title, and thank you very much for watching. Peace out.